Friday. Today's Friday. I have almost nothing to do today. It is so nice to have almost nothing to do. I have this show, and I have a meeting with my kid's school, and that's like it. Which means I get to sit down and work on projects for you all day. Ooh, it's good to just have a day where I can do nothing but work. Hopefully there's no nonsense on the internet, and hopefully I just stay focused on doing a great job for all of you. It's been a heck of a week. 2 days ago, poker coaching member Blas Zerjau took fourth place in a $10,000 buy-in tournament that he satellited into for $100. He won about $500,000, so congrats to him. Second time he's done this, actually. A year and a half ago, he turned $22 into $1.3 million on Party Poker. Seems like he likes playing on Party Poker. Could you imagine? I wonder what his graph looks like. I haven't even considered looking at it, but he probably is like average buy-in is probably smallish, and then he just like has these humongous spikes. Oh, that's fun. He also, to be fair, he also won a $200 tournament on Winamax a while back for like $400K too, or $300K, something like that. So he's been crushing it. Congrats to him. Today we're just gonna have a nice, easy, casual Ask Me Anything. You all type what you want me to talk about, and I'll talk about it. There's a chance my chat aggregator's not working. Maybe. I see some of you are here, but I'm not seeing any of your chat. That's not... Oh, there it goes. Good. With any luck, I'll be able to get Blas to go through the fourth place where he got the $500,000 cash. We'll be doing that for poker coaching members at some point in the near future, hopefully. He said he would, so I'm excited to make that happen. I like him a lot. So look, a lot of people, whenever they effectively get rich quick, because, he'd been grinding poker since 2015 with, some success, not a ton. But then in 2018, he just skyrocketed. He found my content, started studying a lot, and next thing you know, he's winning lots of money. And he presented me, as soon as he won this pile of money, he's like, look, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to buy my parents a house, or buy my mom a house. I'm going to finish college, which he did. And he set out a very strict schedule. I don't think I've ever seen a normal person who's young. I mean, he's only 20-something years old. I don't think I've ever seen someone have such a regimented schedule. It was beautiful. It was a thing. It looked as hectic as my schedule. My schedule's ridiculous, which is why I'm bragging about having an almost free Friday. But it was like, wake up, take care of school, study poker, go to the gym, play poker, have a date night, like all sorts of stuff like this. It was just like a very, very great schedule, and he's sticking to it and doing great work, and he's being disproportionately rewarded for his discipline, patience, willingness to sit there and put in the grind. I'm very, very happy for him. He's a good, level-headed kid, and he is absolutely crushing it. What more do you want from people? Here's something to talk about. Can you talk about the terms of service and the use of GTO charts at the table in the light of the Fedor Cruz issues where basically a guy's using a real-time solver? So as far as I know, real-time solvers are not allowed. Now, what exactly is a real-time solver? I think that is up for debate still. But essentially, if you can click through something and find exactly the scenario you are in on the various betting rounds, that is legal. I do not know if you're allowed to use preflop charts or not on all the various sites. I would recommend you email them. I know that when you're playing live poker, you can pretty much do whatever you want when you're not in a hand. When you're not in a hand. I want to make that perfectly clear. If you're in a hand, you can't be going through the solver, right? But before the hand, like say you're in the hijack seat and you have 15 big blinds, it's perfectly legal for you to glance down at a chart that you have on your phone. There's nothing wrong with that. We actually have charts available for you at pokercoaching.com. We have the Poker Coaching app that has GTO strategies for various scenarios for pre-flop spots. Say, you already know what you're going to do if they fold you and you have 15 big blinds because you studied that a lot. But the player on your right likes to raise frequently. So now you need to study the GTO solution for whenever this player raises on your right. So you can look at that before the hand. Memorize roughly what you're supposed to do and then do it. Is that a little bit, is cheap the right word? Cheap's not the right word, but is that a little bit lame to be able to look up the actual answer to the problem you're going to be in ahead of time? Maybe a little bit, but I have no problem with that because it's well within the rules. If it is well within the rules, then you're allowed to do it. And currently you're allowed to use phones as you see fit at the poker table when you are not in the hand. How'd you suggest you start off in today's poker climate if you don't have much money? I start with $50. I'm very confident you can still start with $50. Put $50 online, play tiny stakes games. Take it slow. Take it slow. You're allowed to take it slow. Poker is not a great way to get rich quick. It took me a long time to make any money from poker, and it takes most people a long time to make any money from poker. Blas is a decent example of this, right? And he's absolutely crushing it. He didn't really have many great successes until 3 or 4 years into his play, which is normal for a lot of people, right? Because when you start off tiny, what else are you going to do? You're not just going to you might turn $50 into $500. You 10x your money, but it's not like you're going to get rich off that. Small stakes players keep calling your bluffs, so stop bluffing. How are the preflop charts created? We use a program called Munker Solver, and then we essentially get all the data from that. We have a program that then displays all of that data. That data is a mess. It's like a whole bunch of random symbols. I don't know how it works. Anyway, we have a program that displays it. I'm not an engineer. We pay engineers to do all this stuff. Turns out it costs a lot of money to make apps for you. You all better make use of it. Am I allowed to say how much we spent over this? We spent over 6 figures on this poker coaching app for you, so please make use of it. A lot of the stuff on there is completely free and available for you. So make use of the work that we are doing for all of you. That would make me happy. If you plan on having any other games on, or any other content on the random games. So look, this is something that I'm always struggling with because as a business owner, I have to make sure I'm devoting resources to things that are actually going to move the needle in terms of either getting a lot of new customers or retaining customers better, right? My job is to help you get substantially better at poker so that you don't cancel, right? And I'm not entirely sure things like a course on PLO or a course on 6max is going to do a lot to get a lot of people in the door because I'm sure there are other sites out there that are doing better. Like I know Jay Nandez does a lot of great work on PLO. I had him write a book for D&D Poker because I know he's like the PLO guy, right? So I would just send you to his site. I'd rather send you to a better site than whatever I'm going to create because I don't want you to sign up for my pokercoaching.com and be disappointed because it lacks PLO content when I can just send you to someone who I know is going to do a very good job. And he has his own business. He doesn't want to combine businesses. So, I'll send you to a person who's better at that. I have no problem with that. I want to make sure that you get exactly what you need because if I send you in a direction, get exactly what you need, if you think someone's going to need me in the future, you're going to send them in my direction because, I'm going to do whatever's right for my students, even if it doesn't result in me getting any money out the door. I distinguish between tracking back marginal hands and betting for protection. We actually just did a class on this at pokercoaching.com. And it took me about an hour to go through, so we're not going to do that. Let's see. You're enjoying the quizzes. Great. Are Nash charts replaced by the push-fold app? Basically, yes. So the push-fold app is essentially using Nash charts. However, whenever you're deeper than 10 big blinds, you really don't want to use push-fold charts. You want to use the GTO strategy that's solved by Munker Solver. Is that available on Google Play or download from the site? It's in the Android App Store. I don't know what Google Play is. I'm not up to speed on all the various platforms. So it's on Android App Store and Apple iTunes App Store, whatever that thing's called. You're 25 pages into my new book, Excelling at Tough No Limit Hold'em Games. It's very good. Oh, I know it's very good, and you're just getting started. Where's that book? Here it is. Excelling at Tough No Limit Hold'em Games. Last night, we had Giraffe Ganger, who also took 9th place in that $10,000 buy-in tournament 2 days ago. So congrats to him, got a nice $200,000 cash. He has an amazing chapter on playing middle stacked at the final table. It's pretty good stuff. Talks about limping and really just getting to play a lot more hands than you normally would. He actually streamed for Poker Coaching Premium members yesterday. Giraffe Ganger, right here. #1 player in the world 2 or 3 years ago whenever he was grinding hardcore all the time. Turns out when you grind hardcore all the time and you make all the money, you decide to take some time off and you fall off the rankings a bit. But literal #1 player in the world. We also have part of this book, John Van Fleet, Ape Styles right there in the corner. Also Vlada. Vlada won the Sunday, what was it called? The Stadium Series main event for $1 million a month or two ago. So congrats to him. All the coaches are winning money. Anyway, you can get this Excelling at Tough, or get this at jlpoker.com/excellingtough. It's a great book. Full of great data. Lots and lots of PIO charts. The chapter by Vlado is actually very influential to me. It talked about how to play post-flop in ICM scenarios It's lots of good stuff. Good Punt or Bad Punt by Chip Spool, perhaps one of my favorite coaches. You may not know him, but he does a ton of coaching, and he goes through a bunch of scenarios where he runs insane bluffs and he tries to figure out if they're good or bad. Some of them are good, some of them are bad. So that's fun. But yeah, you can get that at jlpoker.com/excellingtough. Also, 3 leaks you can fix right now. We need 25 leaks. Where's the 25 leak image? Whatever. I have a new course on poker coaching for all the poker coaching members. You can check it out at pokercoaching.com/25 leaks. If you're not a poker coaching member, you can get half off your first month. And if you don't like poker coaching, ask for a refund and I'll give you a refund. If I don't help you get better at poker, I do not deserve or want your money. A lot of other training sites out there either try to charge you a ton of money up front and then they won't give you a refund, or they will do a monthly recurring fee like I do, but they will also not give you a refund. Look, if I don't help you, I do not want or deserve your money, like I said. We're not charging any sort of gigantic sign-up fee or anything like that because, look, I know, I'm very confident in this, that if you sign up for poker coaching, you're going to learn something. And then you're going to study a little bit more and you're going to learn some more and you're going to get better and better and better at poker to the point that whatever you pay me becomes minimal. And you're going to stay a poker coaching member forever. Turns out we have pretty great retention among people who actually study and use the site. And that's because we're adding immense amounts of value, right? And that sets us apart to some extent. And that's why we have many, many thousands of members at this point. So thanks to all of you for supporting me and my team. Turns out if you add value, people are happy to pay you. Did you ever have to trick yourself into grinding sit and goes? No, I was happy. I was changing my life. My other option was work a $10 an hour job. If my option is to work a $10 an hour job or make multiple hundreds of dollars per hour playing poker, I'm going to sit there and I'm going to play poker all day, every day. What are your streams? Run It Once and poker coaching. They're actually relatively similar. Poker coaching has additional types of content that Run It Once does not. We have interactive quizzes, over 1,000 of them, I think, at this point. We also have many more like in-depth courses. I'm only comparing Poker Coaching Premium to Run It Once. I think it's called their Elite membership or something like that. That's the only one I've ever used. Both sites offer a lower tier membership that's cheaper price that has less content, but Poker Coaching Premium, we have lots and lots of courses on specific topics by various coaches. I've had the pleasure of working with many, many poker players. I mean, Run It Once has a lot of great coaches as well, so I mean, they probably have more great coaches than I do. Run It Once does a lot of like individual 1-hour classes, and we do some of that, but we also do interactive homework webinars each month where I give you a whole hand to play through, not just how you play your hand, but how you play your entire range, which is very, very difficult, intricate. And we also have a lot of quizzes that are very interactive that basically put you at the poker table and ask you how you would play scenarios and then get responses in real time from the pros. This is not proper English, annoying as it gets. There's not even any punctuation here. Look, if you're going to type something in the chat box, please make sure we use good punctuation and proper English so that I can read it. I know it looks like I can read gibberish, but sometimes I decide not to. Is that book available on Kindle? It is. How do you play a table where everyone limps and then calls raises? Just raise with a good, strong, linear range for value and have your opponents call with all sorts of weaker stuff. A tournament can be like a book or a story with a beginning, middle, and end. So can you describe your strategy as it changes? I don't think like this, Alan. I'm just showing up and playing the best fundamentally sound poker I possibly can. Sometimes you show up and everybody's playing weak and tight, in which case I'm just going to run them over. Sometimes everyone's raising and re-raising and playing every single pot, in which case I'm going to sit back and try to make the strong hands. So I think going into any tournament with the idea of I'm going to do this in the beginning levels, period, is not optimal. And I mean, the only thing that realistically makes sense is to go in and play good fundamentally sound poker, adjusting to whatever your opponents do wrong. My first poker coach back in the day, a guy named Bill Seymour, said you take what they give you, and if they don't give you anything, you're not going to get to take a whole lot today, and that's okay. So if your opponents are doing something wrong, you maximally exploit them, and if they're not, play fundamentally sound poker, and you're gonna passively exploit them, and that's the case for all stages of the tournament. Sometimes you find yourself at the final table with a medium stack, and you have to be tight. Sometimes you find yourself with the chip lead, and you have to play every pot, right? How many tables are ideal to play at one time? However many you can handle within reason, probably minus 1 or 2. I can usually handle about 20, so I usually cap it at about 18 to make sure I have plenty of time. That said, I'm a bit of an outlier in multi-tabling skill because I've done it longer than basically everyone, and I would say most people probably need to play like 4 or 6. Draft Ganger yesterday in the stream for the Poker Coaching Premium member says he caps it out at about 6 to 8. Yesterday, I think he was playing 4 or 5 while streaming. Okay, let's see. You have aspirations of being a professional live cash game player and was told you to start off small to teach yourself proper discipline and patience. You should also start off small to confirm that you're a good poker player. If you can't beat the small stakes, you're not going to be able to beat the high stakes. How do you combat calling stations? Just play better hands than they play. Turns out, if they're going to call you with all sorts of nonsense, just play hands that are better than theirs, and you're going to make better hands on average. And if they're going to call you down with second pair, third pair, etc., stop bluffing. Just bet for value and extract lots of value. Is excelling at tough no limit hold'em games for cash games. This book is mostly based around tournaments. It's powered by Pokar. Pokar is a backing company that I am an advisor for. They back mostly tournament players, but a lot of the content applies to cash games as well, like the good punt or bad punt section, right? It's talking about these super deep stack bluffs. I mean, that directly applies to cash games. Are involved in the lobbying for the U.S. authorities in favor of poker as a game of skill. I've done a lot of stuff to try to help with that. For example, I was part of this amicus brief back in the day. They went to the Supreme Court of the United States. Remember the Dick Racina case? Anyway, who else was part of this? We had Mike Sexton, the late Mike Sexton, my hero, was part of this. We had me, we had Vanessa Selps, a few other people. We essentially made an argument, as you see, summary of the argument to the Supreme Court to try to help convince them that poker is a game of skill. Who knows if they read it or not? If they read it, they would have known it was a game of skill. But they did not. They did not. I don't know what happened with that. And I know it didn't go in our favor. Anyway, I've done a lot of stuff pertaining to that. One of my good friends is a lawyer who is a world-class lawyer in his field, but he also does a lot of pro bono work for the poker world. And anytime I can help him out, I'm happy to. Explain the good positions of the poker table. Consider the small blind and big blind. Vidor, not even sure what you're meaning. You want to be in late position in general. Poker Coaching is the only site we found that gives you immediate strategies rather than a ton of math. Yeah, I try to go a little bit light on the math for a lot of my, I'll call it like non-super high-level coaching for the most part, because I know that's not what a lot of people want, right? Is Poker Coaching scheduled to learn at your own pace? You can learn at your own pace, or you can take part of the challenges. Like right now, we're on day 25 of a 30-day tournament challenge, where every day I send you some amount of content to go through on a specific topic. Forgetting exactly what today's was. But anyway, that takes like an hour or so each day, but you don't have to go through that if you don't want to. And you can also go back and go through them later if you feel inclined. But yes, you can go at your own pace, or you can go through sort of a more regimented program. Who gets the honor of doing the 1,000th quiz on the site? I'm not sure. Let's see. Will poker become a recreational game for these pros soon because there's not enough money to be made? I think there's always going to be a lot of money to be made in the live poker arena. Online's always getting tougher. Online goes a lot faster. I mean, the reason live poker is still fine, whereas online is dead, is because online just goes substantially faster. When I say dead, online's not dead. Online's just, especially cash games are just not like they were back in the day. Online tournaments are still great, though. I mean, look at the series that are happening right now, right? Basically, every major site has been having these 3-week-long series, and it's fantastic. Who is my colleague, Justin? Justin is fantastic. He works with me. He helps me. I try to make him a copy of me. Justin is the man. Justin is awesome. Justin actually came to me a long time ago and said, your Instagram is awful. Let me try to make your Instagram better. It's like, okay, sure. He made Instagram better. And I'm like, oh, why don't you take care of YouTube too? Because my YouTube's terrible. Now we have 65,000 followers thanks to Justin. And he helps with everything. I mean, he's amazing. I have a great team. I have an A+ team. I've been very fortunate that basically everyone who works with me liked my content and liked my work. and then saw something that I was not doing great at, because there's a million things that you have to do to succeed at business. And, some of them aren't even necessary, but they can certainly matter. Like, you don't have to be on YouTube, but you probably should. So anyway, I've been very fortunate to I've never really had to go out and try to hire people, whereas I know a lot of companies struggle because they don't have help in a lot of ways. But people just find ways to help me. A lot of time they're willing to do it for free or cheap initially to just prove that they're good, because I didn't know who Justin was. He was a random kid going to engineering school, and he proved that he was good. So gave him more responsibilities, becomes a full-time employee, makes more than an engineer makes from me now, and I'm happy with it, and I think he's happy with it. I let him pack up and go play the World Series online. It's whatever. It's a great job. Could you imagine being a young kid getting paid a great salary and essentially getting paid to study poker and work on poker and getting to play all the poker you want? I mean, just a while back, he won $50,000 in a tournament online. It's what more do you want from the guy? Sick life. Hopefully he doesn't get too rich from poker and quit on me. That's my fear, is he goes off and wins $5 million in some silly online tournament. And then he's like, well, probably don't need to be doing all this work for Jonathan anymore. All right. You have a coach on your team who focuses on loose, aggressive poker. Giraffe Danger. Last night he streamed for all of the Poker Coaching Premium members, and it was absurd. It was amazing. He played great. He made multiple hero calls, kind of like I tend to do, so that was a lot of fun. And made lots of big bluffs. There's one spot where he was going to make a pretty clear triple barrel, and then his opponent let all in on the river, and he was so distraught because how could his opponent possibly lead the river? Brutal. What's my biggest advice for playing micro stakes cash games? Make better hands than your opponents and then value bet. Isn't it counterproductive to being able to pay attention if you play a lot of tables? Yeah, it is. Your return on investment is going to be lower. Also, it doesn't increase your chances of binking something per individual tournament. Whenever you play additional tables, it usually lowers your return on investment. So the question is it worth it to lower your return on investment in addition to playing additional volume? Hey, you want to come say hello? You want to come say hello? Oh, here's Big Thomas. Can you say hi? Yeah, say hi. What are you doing today? Yeah, are you gonna go to the park?
No.
Can you talk? Are you not gonna talk? Are you shy? Big Thomas is shy. Big Thomas is shy. How do I see the future of high stakes cash games? I don't know. Probably the same thing that happens in live cash games. When a bad player sits, they'll run, and when they don't, they won't. Why is your app not available in Brazil? I don't know. It should be. Send us an email. support@pokercoaching.com. How'd I end up last Sunday in the tournaments? I think we lost a little bit. What do you see? You see a flashing button? Yeah, we're flashing button. All right. You gonna go out there? You can go cook your breakfast? Cook your lunch? Can you say bye-bye? Can you blow a kiss? Oh, you're a sweet boy. Oh, you're a sweet boy. Yeah. Mwah, mwah, mwah. See you. You raise with ace king before the flop. Villain calls threes. Doesn't matter. Flop comes jack 9-9. You bet. Way too big. Way too big. I would not fold the flop with threes, but I would fold to an additional turn and river bet. He decided to call you down, though. Look, people are calling stations sometimes. Billy Baxter was a pioneer, indeed. Indeed, indeed. Billy Baxter was a pioneer, and we should all be thanking him. Is poker coaching content in Spanish? No, but Michael Acevedo, one of the best poker players and coaches on the roster, he wrote the book Modern Poker Theory. He streams in Spanish at twitch.tv/GTO_poker. He streams a lot. The other day he streamed, I think it was a $1,000 tournament, and he won $86,000 in it. So go check that out. I think you can watch the replays of those if you feel inclined. Are microstakes Zoom games a good way to play a lot of volume? Sure. I mean, the rake might be high in these games, but sure. Why do you compare your pot odds when there are 2 cards left to come? Because your opponent can still bet the turn. You have implied odds, first off, because if your opponent bets the turn after you get there, you're going to win a lot of money. Also, there's no guarantee your opponent's going to bet the turn. In general, though, you're going to find that when you have a decent draw on the flop, you just don't fold. Because you can also win by bluffing sometimes. It's not like you only win when you hit. You shoved jacks for 8 big blinds and you lost. That's okay. Like, did someone say like? Hit the like button, people. Yeah, if you all like this content, click like. If you don't like it, go away. Either one's fine with me. Is your money safe on GG? I have not done any thorough investigation into GG. I know they do not operate illegally in America, which is a very good sign. I honestly don't know. I have some money in GG. I don't feel bad about it or like it's unsafe. So, I mean, I don't know. What are my thoughts on the Postal instance? I mean, so I don't want to get too deep in this, but essentially I am very sure Postal was cheating and he must have had accomplices. So, you know, that's that. If you have to sign a letter to get a settlement saying you don't think somebody is involved or whatever, if it's going to get your clients paid, then it's probably worth it. Probably worth it, maybe worth it. I don't know. It's tough. It's always tough whenever you're talking about legal issues because it's a lot of bartering, right? Clients want to get paid because they got cheated, potentially. But you also don't want to say that someone was innocent who you very much think was not innocent. It's a tough thing. It's a tough thing. I don't know. It's a tough thing. Ignition just shut you down for living in Delaware. LOL. Yeah, well, that's how it goes. Any advice for the W coup? Feel will be soft. Just, again, Paulo, just play good poker. See what your opponents are doing wrong. This is why you can't, like, write a story of, okay, I'm going to do this in the beginning, and this in the middle, and this in the end, because you don't know how it's going to go for you. You might go sit down and just get all bad cards. Or you might just get smacked by the deck. Or you might be in the middle stages with a big chip stack running everybody over, then you lose a flip, and now you're short. It's like, who knows what's going to happen? You can write a story looking backwards very easily, but it's pretty hard to write it ahead of time, and you don't even know who the players are. That kid looks like Spraggy. Could be Spraggy's kid. Funny enough, Thomas does not look like me or my wife, so that's interesting. Am I going to be playing on Ignition Sunday? I'm still waiting for them to confirm my account. I had to send in my passport and a bill and all this stuff. They said it would take 2 days, and it's been 2 days, so who knows? I don't know. I'm not going to be streaming this Sunday, though, by the way. I decided, if I can't put in a lot of volume, I'm just going to stream like once a month for you, all of you. Any advice for playing versus studying time? If you're not winning, study as much as you can. You enjoyed my Chasing Poker's Greatest interview with Brad. Yeah, check that out. I did 2 interviews over the last 2 days. I retweeted them both on Twitter, and they were both good. Why the delay? We're not on a delay right now, as far as I know. Pretty sure we're not on a delay. I mean, there's a delay in me getting to your questions because you all are typing so many. Why don't you shift to candidates so I can play on the poker sites? Because I don't care to sit there and play poker all day, every day. I have no desire, at this point in my life, with 2 kids and a business, to sit around playing poker all day, every day. I mean, the only reason I even started playing on Sundays was because you all asked me to stream sometimes, right? Like, I don't need to sit around playing poker all day. I also wanted to prove to myself and to my students that I'm still good and know what I'm doing, which I definitely did, because we had a great win rate, higher than I thought it would be. It's always good whenever you think you're going to win some and you end up winning a lot. Especially like in the way I want. Just like consistent, you know? Consistent's good, because it means you're just not like getting lucky and spiking. But anyway, I don't need to sit around playing medium stakes poker online. That's not what I want to be doing with my time at this point in life. Let's see. Why is Thomas screaming? I don't know. Stone's joking about it on Twitter is pretty gross. Indeed. So look, I have been to Stone's 2 times. I commentated there twice. I wasn't really looking for cheating or anything, but I had no idea anything was up. I was always treated very well there. It was a great venue. It was a lot of fun. But I'm not going to go back there. So take that for what it's worth. What's the best way to apply the information that you learn? Study. One second. Dom, can you get that baby to be quiet, please? Okay, thank you. Jesus Christ. What's the best way to apply what you learn? That's tough. Because you need to make sure you're actively studying and making a point to really, really, really focus on what you are trying to learn and what you are learning. If you're just like reading it and then moving forward quickly, it's not going to sink in. So take notes, go slow, go back and reread, and make sure that you are actively applying what you are learning. And if you learn something good, influential, etc., Write it down and make sure you're referencing that while you are playing. Yeah, don't have your phone out, playing on your phone, reading a book, etc. while you're playing poker. Is the World Series of Nevada rigged? It's rigged to not be rigged, I think. It's the site that's perfectly legitimate and legal. So no, I do not think it's rigged in the least bit. I'm very confident it's not rigged. I am pretty confident all the other major sites are not rigged. I'm less confident that the various apps are not rigged. I am happy to still play on unlicensed, unregulated, illegal sites. I'm not happy to play on the various apps. So take that for what it's worth. Have you ever heard of Seals with Clubs? About 10 years ago, Brian Micon, who was in charge with Seals with Clubs initially, was at Bellagio doing his best to give everybody a Bitcoin to go play on Seals with Clubs. I'm like, Micon, I don't want your $5. Thank you, I appreciate it. I'm not going to be doing that. And that was a mistake. There were apparently a bunch of games back in the day. They were playing like 5-10 Bitcoin back in the day when they were, Bitcoin was like $5 or whatever. And so one person won it all and one person lost it all. Why don't you stream on Twitch? I do stream on Twitch. Twitch.tv/Jonathan Little. I don't stream all the time on Twitch. Why don't I stream all the time on Twitch? Because I don't think it's worth the effort for me personally. Twitch is a decent way to get an audience if you don't have an audience. But once you have an audience, you don't want to be playing on a platform where you can't really make much money. Like if you have 5,000 people watching you on Twitch, that's a lot of people. And you're not really going to make a whole lot of money. You may make like, a few $1,000s a month. But like that's not what I'm trying to do. I'm not trying to sit there and grind 40 hours a week to get 5,000 viewers to make a few $1,000s a month. It's just not worth it. It doesn't make sense. I'd much rather make a YouTube video that takes way less time because you don't have to do it. You don't have to work it hard at it 8 hours a day. And I'd much rather make content at my site, pokercoaching.com, where I can charge people for the high-level content. And I can also then spend a ton of that money on additional high-level content. So, turns out, if you add a lot of value to people's lives, they are happy to pay you for that value that you add. And fortunately, poker's a good space to do that in because if you pay me $3 a day for my content, you're going to make way more than $3 a day off whatever you learn from me, assuming you're not already one of the absolute most elite players who knows everything I know. Have any content on what your thought process pre-flop and post-flop? Go to pokercoaching.com and go through the homework. That is exactly my thought process every single time I'm playing. Go to pokercoaching.com and go through the homework, please. Please. Love the 3 leaks yesterday. Good, I'm glad to hear it. Replace that with the 10, 7 of spades. Does it change your hand? Or replace the 2 with the 10. So the board would be, so you'd have open-ended straight draw. I would still just fold. You're going to be so dominated by a better flush draw, I think. Whenever you have a bad flush draw 3 ways, you're just, it's not where you want to be, even if you do have a straight draw to go with it. How does the average stack affect your push-fold ranges? Not really. Not really. Now, like, what I mean is if I have 10 big blinds and everybody else has 30, it's not all that different if I have 10 big blinds and everybody else has 10. It's a little bit different, but not much different. Is poker still profitable? It's for me and my students. It's not for everybody. Poker was never profitable for most people. Ready for Sunday. What's happening Sunday? What's your upcoming schedule to go play live? I have no upcoming schedule to go play live. Any thoughts on mathematics of poker? Unnecessary for the vast majority of people. Great if you like math and you want to go deep on stuff. I would definitely recommend modern poker theory instead over that because it's applicable not just to random poker games using a lot of toy games as examples. It's like applicable to exactly No Limit Texas Hold'em that you're playing. Can you see my online results? SharkScope, you can go search my ACR account that was just locked up. You can search pokercoaching.com. That was me over about 12 sessions. I think we won, I think tracked was like 20K. But there was a day where the site I was playing on ACR just crashed and all the tournaments died. That was actually a fun day because I had like 11 starting stacks in a $1,000 tournament. And I misunderstood the terms and conditions on how they pay you back whenever their site crashes, which, it does every once in a while. And I thought I was going to get one buy-in back. So I thought I was going to have $11,000 in equity. I was going to get $1,000 back. But they actually paid me like $9,000 for that or something, which was probably about right. And so that's not tracked, but whatever. Who really cares? Anyway, solid ROI. Solid EV big blind per 100. I think we had about 5.5 EV big blind per 100 with an average buy-in of like $400 or something, which is pretty good. Happy with it. Do you think one should study in a wholesome manner with the Acevedo book? I'm not sure what you mean by a wholesome manner, but yeah, you should study the book. I think it's good. So, bunch of gibberish letters. Whenever I play on a site, I want there to be a lot of volume. I don't want to be playing like 1 or 2 or 3 tournaments on one site because it just becomes a big hassle with dealing with various programs. So anyway, like I'm not trying to play on just one site. I mean, I ran into this last week with Global Poker. They had like 2 tournaments, 2 $200 tournaments that day. It's like, am I really going to even load up the site for 2 $200 tournaments? I don't know. We played on Bet Online this last week, and they had some games. Like, you could play 4 games at a time or something, but even then, that's not great. I mean, ACR has great volume, way better than everybody else. Too bad they don't like it whenever you speak openly and critically about them, because they'll ban you. At least they ban me. They may not ban everybody. Turns out, if you have an audience and you're critical of them, they don't like that. And rightfully so, you don't want someone being honest about your site if you're doing things that are potentially out of line. So, I get it. Can you make decent money playing sit and goes these days? Yeah, sure. Why not? What's the definition of flatting? Flatting is when you call a raise in front of you. You're looking to get either ICMizer or Hold'em Resources Calculator. Any preference? I much prefer ICMizer personally. You can see videos of me using ICMizer what is it? Just go to YouTube and type in Jonathan Little ICMizer. I'm sure something will come up. They also have this sit and go quiz feature that I think is quite powerful. DraftGainer said last night, if you have a good paying job and a good source of income, stay away games below $11. Sure, if you make good money, you don't necessarily need to play the small stakes games. I generally agree. Why not? Only 70 likes. Come on, everybody. Click like, click subscribe, click all the buttons. Clicking buttons is fun. Am I going to play the Venom tournaments? No. Turns out, if they ban you for speaking critically, you don't get to play the tournaments. Also, like, it's just a regular tournament. It's nothing special. Why GTO raise bluff? Why does it change based on position? Sometimes more suited connectors, sometimes more weak aces. Basically depends on how likely you are to get called. As you're more likely to get called based on stack depth, position, etc., then you want to have hands that flop better. If you're going to get called less often, you want to have hands that have a blocker. How can you study by yourself? Go to pokercoaching.com and go through all the content. We have many, many courses there that are outlined for you between each part of the course. There are quizzes and whatnot to ensure you know what you're doing. I mean, this 25 Leaks course I just put out. Go there, pokercoaching.com/25leaks. Go through it. It's about 4 or 5 hours of content. And in between each of the leaks, there are 25 of them, between most of them, there is a quiz to ensure that you know what you're doing. What kind of businesses do you own? Well, I mean, pokercoaching.com is my main business. That said, I make a lot of various angel investments. I think I made about 80, mostly through one of my friends, a guy named Jason Calacanis. He wrote a book called Angel, which I learned a lot from. Some of the good ones. There's one called Fitbod. Have you heard of Fitbod? It's an app that teaches you how to work out. There's one called Steezy. It's an app that teaches you how to dance. I like membership training sites because I know they can be very, very profitable. There's one called Cafe X that makes a giant robot arm that makes coffee and delivers food. Seems very, very useful with COVID now. They're building out a ton of those in Japan. There's one called Blockable that makes like modular housing. Like imagine a shipping container but it's a house, and they can stick them all on top of each other as you want them to be stuck. There's a bunch of companies, 80 or so. That said, I'm not like some giant piece of owner. Like I have between like 5K and 25K in each of these or something. So like not like a ton of money in each of them. I mean, some money, but not a ton of money. How high of an ROI can you have in sit and goes? 5%? You heard it's unrealistic to make a living. I think you can still make, well, what is a living, right? You can still make a living, though. So Patrick Leonard said a while back that a reasonable strategy if you're not great at poker is to just learn how to play 30 big blinds and shorter and then buy in late, and you'll be fine. And it's true. If you want an easy way to try to win a small amount of money from poker, to get a small return on investment, that is a great way to go about it. And you won't have to study any deep stack poker whatsoever. And this is actually what a lot of online tournament players do, is that they just don't, they realize it takes a lot of effort to study deep stack poker, and if you never have to play it, then forget about it, right? Just, like, if you told me, all right, Jonathan, you have to take a student, they are going to be able to study 10 hours of poker. You need to make them good at poker tournaments. What would I do? Well, first things first, lop off half the game. Take 30 big blind to 100 big blind poker and forget about it because you're not going to play it. There you go. You just got rid of half of the potential study you'd have to do. That said, I'm not trying to teach people over the course of only 10 hours to win a small win rate. I'm trying to teach you to be world-class poker players where you can win a ton of money from poker. That is my goal. Zara, welcome. Zara's a subscriber on Twitch. Hello, hello. Thanks for being here. Quick question about betting. What are the best sizes for polarized ranges after betting the flop? It depends on what your exact range looks like, but kind of a weird question. It depends on the scenario. You usually want to go kind of big, though. What's my next goal for poker coaching? So funny enough, we actually have a call with my team coming up in about a week and a half on exactly goals and analytics and key performance metrics and whatnot, because we don't do a ton of that. We're not especially good at that. Like I said, there's a lot of things we're not especially great at. If you're good at analytics, business analytics, hit me up. Next goal, though, get this tournament class release. It's been taking forever. I think everyone's going to be very happy with the finished product. It's an experiment, right? Like in the past, I'll tell you what I would do. I would make a PowerPoint. It would take me some time, 2 or 3 days. And then I would record the PowerPoint. And then I'd go back and I'd insert quizzes after every one. It would take like 5 days out the door to make a reasonable course. Like the Cash Game Masterclass took a week and a half or something, and it's 7 hours long with a bunch of quizzes. This tournament course, we're doing it differently. We have lots of small parts. Like, I don't know how many videos it's going to be. It's going to be like 100 videos or something. 100 10-minute videos. And quizzes after each. Final exam after the end of every big section. And I'm having one of my students, who's a friend, who also runs a tutoring training site. Like, he teaches people college courses because they can't learn it well enough from the college professor. Turns out the professors are only okay at teaching. He's better at it. So anyway, he is teaching me how to teach. It's a big process. After I get done with the tournament course, I'm going to go back and replicate it for the cash game course again to build that out. And that's the next thing on my plate, that's for sure. So 25 leaks with the premium membership. 25 leaks is with the premium membership and the regular membership. Go to pokercoaching.com/25 leaks. You can get half off your first month of a standard membership. You need backing and coaching. Please take me as your student. If you need backing and you need coaching, that's not a good place to be in, because you typically back people who you expect to make you money. You don't back people who you expect just have to spend a lot of time on to maybe get them up to speed. You're going to find that in order for anyone to back you at poker, you're going to need to show them pretty good results. I mean, Poker is a good example of this, right? They get many people asking to be backees, and they turn down 95% of them because they don't need to take people who are going to require an immense amount of work up front just to get them break even. What about Ignition in terms of volume? I haven't been able to play there yet because they're taking forever getting me approved. What advice would I give you as a novice player, Susan? Go to pokercoaching.com/fundamentals. Go there, go through that, and then go through either the cash game or the tournament challenge on pokercoaching.com, depending on what game you want to do. That's going to give you a lot of very clear, concise information right off the bat to get you up to speed. And then the 30-day challenge for cash games or tournaments will then make sure you're pretty good at that. And from there, send us an email and we'll figure out where to go from there. But myself and ACR shoes, should they ban Jonathan Little? No, I would not ban anybody. That said, I don't run a poker site either, so Especially, no, I mean, I wouldn't ban anyone for being critical of my site. That's for sure. Would I ban them for joking about my site? No. You don't have to like it. You don't have to promote it. I think a lot of the issue, though, is that, like, I had more people watching my stream than all of their paid pros combined, and I think that's annoying to them to have some, like, one of the biggest people on Twitch/YouTube not overly praising your site. And I get it. That's fine. So, hey, I can still be critical and not play on the site. You have to understand. I think a lot of people think from the point of view of, oh, you don't want to get banned from the site because how are you going to make money now? But, like, I make my money, for the most part today, by helping all of my students get good at poker and protect their bankrolls. And one of the best things you can do to protect your bankroll is not keep a lot of money in any online poker site, especially the ones that are not licensed and regulated. Like, right now I have decent money in PokerStars, and I haven't played on PokerStars in a while. And that's about it. And I'm not worried about that money. If they run off with it, I know that I'm going to get it back by, they're a very, very regulated company. I'm not worried about that. But I would not keep substantial money in any other site whatsoever. What's my favorite food? Depends on the time of day. If you catch me at the right time, I love some Cabernet and spaghetti and cheesecake. And if the spaghetti's a little spicy, that's good. Our Vegas poker room's still soft. They're probably really soft right now. I mean, Mark, again, so I can get back in the action. I don't need to get back in the action. I don't need that in my life. Doesn't make sense, right? I wasn't streaming for... You have to understand. Jonathan Little, on Saturdays and Sundays, wants to hang out with his wife and his kids while they're off from school and off from work. That's what I want to do on Sundays. But you all asked me to stream. So I did it. I sacrificed time with my family for my students, and I don't mind doing that. That's fine. Fine and good. That said, if they're going to make that more difficult for me to do, I'm just going to spend time with my wife and kids. Because it's not like I'm not producing content for all of you. I make infinite content for all of you. He didn't tell Nagy anything he didn't know already. I think that's probably true. How did we decide on both of our boys' names? We picked them. Nice, good, easy names. I'm an excellent salesman. I don't really think of myself as a salesman. Something else I probably should actually get good at. I'll tell you, the way I sell my work is I tell you that it's, I mean, I show you it's good, right? I do good work. I show you that it is beneficial and useful. I have many, many students who are absolutely crushing it. Many of them started by not crushing it. Now they are. And like I said, try it. And if you don't like it, cancel. I'll give you your money back. Because if I do not help you, I do not want or deserve your money. And that should make you feel pretty good about it. Turns out a lot of people don't cancel, though. What's the most interesting philosophy problem you've heard? I don't really know a whole lot about philosophy. You were so moved when you saw my wife get emotional when I was talking about Mike Sexton. That was amazing. Bring her on the show more, yeah. I've done a few Ask Me Anythings with Amy, so check those out. You're playing $60 average buy-in. Should you get a solver? Maybe. I would tell you to go through the content on Poker Coaching Premium by Michael Acevedo, who wrote Modern Poker Theory, and Matt Affleck, who does a lot of solver work, and Faraz Jaka, who also does a lot of solver work. So check those out. Do you have sections on 3-bet bluffing? Of course we do. That's part of good poker. Let's see. Pads is a massively winning online player. Oh, I know that. Pads is very good at poker. I'm not sure why you would doubt that. Did you all know, a long time ago, Patrick Leonard hired me to work at PokerStrategy.com. It's a training site, mostly in Europe. An interesting revenue model. Basically, they would take all of your rake back in exchange for giving you free content, which is a great idea. Don't know what happened to that. We're friends. Yeah, very good player. And I'm not saying that he's not a good player. I'm saying that his strategy of only learn 30 big blind poker and less is only good if you're not going to devote a lot of time to playing poker. But I mean, clearly, I've played plenty of 100 big blind poker with Patrick Leonard. He'll get in there and battle with the best of them. So I'm not trying to be offensive whatsoever in that. I'm saying that if you want to become world class at poker, like Patrick Leonard is, you need to learn how to play deep stack too. Do you have any plans on building deeper stack charts? Not at the moment. They're not going to change all that much from like 100 big blind poker though. Do you bet on sports? Not really. If anyone out there, I don't even know if I should put this out. If anyone out there wants to teach me to bet on sports, and you're actually good and not a fish, I'm going to know if you're a fish immediately. If you're actually good, I'd be interested in talking to you. I'm a big fan of figuring out ways to make additional money using your brain. 25 leaks is very well put together. Well, thank you. Would you believe we put that together in about 3 days? I was thinking, I need something to put out because I wanted this tournament class to be out by now and it's not. What can we do that would be easy enough for me to do? 25 leaks. I have a list of about 100 leaks. 25 leaks. I found 25 good ones, made 10-minute video on each of them, made quizzes about each of them, loaded up. Beautiful. That's how Jonathan Little gets content put out. I need money and coaching. I'll give you half. Yeah, exactly. How many coffees do you drink per day? 2.5. Am I verified on Bovada yet? No. Having kids is negative EV, especially when it comes for money. That's for sure. Especially when it comes for money. If you care about money, don't have kids. Wow, we're almost done here. Hour flies by whenever you are asking me questions. Thank you for all this. Hourly rate for poker lessons. Go to pokercoaching.com. In the tools section, there's a request private coaching section. You can request private coaching from most of my coaches. What's so bad about PokerStars? I've not said anything bad about PokerStars. You know the right play most situations, but your ego and greed doesn't let you do it. Well, it sounds like you need to kill your ego. Your ego is your enemy. I think that was one of my 25 leaks, actually. And if it's not, I mean, I just wrote about it. I just said something about your ego somewhere. You have to understand, you got to get that out of your brain. You got to get that out of your brain. When's the next webinar? Go to pokercoaching.com. In the dashboard on the right-hand side, there is a dashboard of upcoming content for you. What do you think about ACR or GG confiscating money from a player that supposedly should have been banned? Look, if you play on a site and they banned you and you're not supposed to be playing on there, then you should have your money confiscated. If you break the rules, you should get punished. I have no problem with punishing people who break the rules. Are my poker coaching prices going down since COVID? I have had substantially more business since COVID, so no. Turns out when people are stuck at home with not a whole lot to do, they want to make use of their time and improve their skills. Can you purchase any of my stuff, including this 25 leaks, as a single purchase? No. We got away from that model. We were in that business model where we were selling like an individual thing every month, and that's just like that's a rough treadmill to be on. I would rather just continue putting out lots of great content, not feel like exactly Jonathan Little has to put out the content every month, and provide all sorts of immense value. I mean, look, in reality, if you're not going to make use of a poker coaching membership, I mean, realistically, if you get the regular membership, it's only like $1 a day, right? If you're not going to get more than $1 a day out of my work, then you probably shouldn't be playing much poker anyway to begin with. I mean, it's going to sound aggressive, I know, but like, you need to study if you're going to be playing poker. And if you're playing even like $5 buy-in games, you can spend $1 a day to get better. You heard most of your classes are based on tournaments. That's not, I mean, a decent amount of them are, but not all of them. I have a literal cash game masterclass. People love it. I've taken many people from making no money to making $100 an hour playing 5 to no limit in their local casino. So, you heard wrong. Also, sign up, and if you don't like it, cancel. Go to pokercoaching.com/premium, sign up, go through the cash game masterclass. And if you don't like it, you think it was useless to you, ask for a refund, and I'll give you a refund. Let's see. Are people good at betting on sports? You assume they were all fish. There are definitely people who are capable of winning at sports. There's one guy, Greg Peterson, who I like a lot. I would work with him. He bets on every Major League Baseball game, gets good prices, and at the end of the year, he profits every single year. It's insane. Who is the best coach at poker coaching to teach cash games? Go through the cash game masterclass. Also, I know Matt Affleck plays a decent amount of cash games as well, so make sure you check out his content. What other activities where you can make money using your brain that are intriguing to you? So it would be neat if I actually saw someone who made it clear that you could make money trading stocks and whatnot, or trading currencies or anything like this. I think that probably requires a little bit too much work. And I don't even know if it's possible. I have a lot of people who are professionals in these industries, and they say, "Are you going to devote your whole life to it?" The answer is no. Then okay, then don't do it. Turns out that's the answer to most things. For poker, you want to play high stakes poker? You going to devote your life to it? No? Well, then don't do it. Same thing with everything else. If you want to get good at it, you got to devote your life to it. One time back in the day, I was betting bookies. I was betting on Wong teasers, for those who know what Wong teasers are. And we beat this guy one year. We made, made $20,000 off him the first year. Second year, we were betting Wong teasers. We were ramping it up a bit more. So the way you bet on Wong teasers is they basically round robin with a bunch of other games. Probably talking about nonsense to a lot of you all, but anyway, we had like 25 teams lined up at like $1,000 a bet, so 25K roughly. And the way it works is either you're going to win all of them, roughly break even, lose a little, or lose a ton. Usually you're going to break even or lose a little, but sometimes you spike. And this time we spiked and we won all of them. And I was betting with two other guys, and they were betting the same amounts, and we all just like slaughtered the bookie. Bookie disappeared, didn't pay us. Decided to not be aggressive, and that was the end of getting good lines on Wong teasers. He gave us even money on Wong teasers, when in reality I think they should be like minus 112 or something like that. Back in the day on Ignition, speaking of Ignition, they would give you a plus 180 on 3-team Wong teasers. Wong, is it teaser? Yeah. Yeah, is that right? Yeah. Haven't bet on them forever. Anyway, nobody gives you good odds on them anymore. So anyway, that's that. Hope you all have a great day. I'm glad you enjoyed this. Thanks for all the questions. If you want to check out poker coaching, go to pokercoaching.com/25leaks. Can I discuss going in depth on late stage tournament strategy and when you should be incentivized to call for flips? Well, you never know you're calling for a flip. You never know you're calling for a flip. You're pleasantly, continually surprised by the way that you choose to present. It's less aggressively negative and more positive and unbiased. You know, Andrew, it's important to be not necessarily positive, but it is important to be unbiased. And I think a lot of people have a really hard time with being biased. They think what they are doing is the most important thing. And I recognize that that's not the case, right? Like, for example, somebody asked me to compare my site to Run It Once earlier, and I told you I think Run It Once is great. I'm a member of Run It Once. I'm a member of a few training sites. And I think Run It Once is a very good training site, right? Someone asked, why don't you make PLO content? I could, but it would be worse than what Jane Andez is doing. And I don't want to make a product that's just substantially worse than somebody else who's already doing it great, right? Like, doesn't make sense. I mean, it's important to be unbiased and realize your strengths and your weaknesses. And I do a lot of things great, and I also do a lot of things poorly, and there are a lot of things I don't even do at all. So it's very important to be unbiased, especially in the poker world where you have to accurately assess your skill level, right? And if you don't accurately assess your skill level, you're just going to find yourself in games you can't beat. You're going to be making mistakes, and you're going to lose, is what it amounts to. I mean, there are a bunch of people who have training sites or books or all these things out there that are actively saying, I'm the best, everybody else is bad. And you have to understand, when you're out there saying everybody else is bad, it makes you look disingenuous, because clearly everyone else is not bad, especially when there are multiple people out there telling you the other people are good. So anyway, that's that. Is it okay to check out a position versus a cold call? Yeah, for sure. You should be checking out a position a lot of the time. That's just good, fundamentally sound poker. If you were watching the content by Matt Affleck, he had a webinar on this exact spot just the other day in Poker Coaching Premium. Whenever you raise, someone in position calls, and you're out of position, you need to check a lot. So, I mean, again, like we're covering all these spots. Listen, all of you here asking these strategy questions, like these very clear strategy questions, these are all answered in Poker Coaching Premium. I made a point to make this site have answers to essentially every strategy question you could come up with, because I want to make basically an encyclopedia of poker to where you don't need to go anywhere else. I know, really, just like a lot of people out there are trying to teach you a little bit, but I'm trying to teach you everything to the point that you don't need anything else. So anyway, make use of what I have for you. We spend a lot of money getting the content for you. We spend a lot of money presenting the content in a pretty manner, and it's a lot more work than you would think, but I'm happy to do it for all of you. So that's it for today. Hope you have a great day. When will I see you again? I'll see you all again Monday, bright and early, 9 a.m. Eastern Time for another episode of A Little Coffee. Hope you have a great day. Enjoy yourselves and have a great weekend. All you can do is better yourself and better others. So make sure you do that. Also, check out pokercoaching.com/25 leaks. Go through the 25 leaks. And when I come back on Monday, I'm going to ask you what you learned from those. What are the 25, which of the 25 leaks were things that you know that you need to plug. So make sure you go through that. And also, if you enjoy this, click like and click subscribe. I appreciate it. Thanks to all the moderators for being here and helping me out. Thanks to all of you. I appreciate all of you. Good luck in your games.